Hi everyone, welcome to my sketchbook tour. This sketchbook is from 2019 and it's all alcohol markers, mostly Sharpies, which is kind of weird. I mean, it was weird for me. I had started out, I was just taking these little like lunch breaks where I would go to a park and sit outside and I'd bring some kind of reference material and I would do these like quick sketches with markers, and the markers kind of made it feel very unprecious, you know, because you can't fix anything, you can't correct it. So anyway, so then I kind of moved on to wanting a real sketchbook, and I actually found this, and I can't remember what it's called, but I will figure it out and link to it. It's made by Crescent, and it's a sketchbook that is made, the paper is made for alcohol markers, so it doesn't bleed through at all, and it also just like really has this nice, it kind of blurs the ink into the paper, like it absorbs really nicely, and it almost sometimes looks like watercolors. It's really nice. Okay, so anyway, so here we go. So I really like for my sketchbooks to feel really full. And, you know, I like to have like, you know, them just as full as I can make them. Like I really want to squeeze all the juice out of them. So, you know, so even here's the inside covers. There's a lot of like alchemical, tarot, astrology. Look, I didn't do this page. I need to do this page. The first few drawings, you can tell I'm kind of just figuring out how to work in this medium. And I don't know, they're not great, but whatever. They're still like that quick. Like I was telling you, I was doing these quick drawings, and I think, I mean, like there's less finesse and stuff because I was still kind of treating it with that same regard. And I was just kind of figuring out, like, what do I do here? You know, like some of it was just kind of like these automatic drawings, and you can see I'm starting to figure it out, I think, as I come into these pieces. A lot of this, pretty much everything, all the work I make, at least like the drawings and paintings, have to do with my heart and just navigating the complexities of being, you know, a chronically, I don't want to say chronic illness, but, you know, I have a chronic health condition. I love how full these two pages look. Here, I feel like this is really where I kind of started to find my voice in this work and in this book. Like I really like these drawings. I like how full they are. And this is also where you really start to see some of the reoccurring symbolism. Like this is the tower from the tarot. There's a lot of snakes in this book, which symbolizes transformation. There's a lot of references to brains and brain injuries, and I like this one. It's kind of alien-ish. But then it has like a portal. This shape right here is always like a portal. Again, this is kind of looks like some neurons or something. I really like this one because it kind of, it has this cloud that's kind of like a ring cloud. Again, like this is from 2019, so I don't really remember. Well, it's not that I don't remember making these. Obviously, when I look at it, I know I made it, but I don't remember sort of what I was thinking about or the concept or anything like that. Which is kind of fun because now I get to kind of look at it and, you know, just find the symbolism and the meaning in it. You know, here is this head of this person, and then there's all this sort of chaos. These are kind of seem like nerve-like or something, or maybe energy channels. This, I remember, I used to have a pain at the top of my head, and I don't have that anymore, thankfully. But so that, I think that that's what that's referencing. And then it kind of has this rain cloud, like it's half rain cloud, and then of course it's like a light bulb, which probably represents an idea in this question mark, you know, of just like the uncertainty of what I was going through then. And I mean always, but particularly this, my life got a lot better starting in 2020. And you can see this kind of comes up. This is the third time we've seen this exact representation of, and I think that that's what that's referring to, is kind of like that pain. Also that chakra that's at the top of your head. I love this piece. I feel like it reminds me of like hand-dyed fabric. I think it's really beautiful. I really like folk and outsider art. I get a lot of those books from the library. I also really like Alexander Gerard, who is not a folk artist, but drew a lot from folk art. And he has made big contributions to museums. And there's a Gerard collection of folk art in Arizona or somewhere in the Southwest where he's from. Anyway, this kind of reminds me, I don't think that was at all my intention, but this kind of reminds me of something that maybe you'd find in Latin America. I love this one too. The like water vessel. I love the way I was doing these snake tongues. This one's definitely about my gut. I mean, it's so like colon-y. And then these are definitely nerves. I was having a lot of stomach issues at this time. I ended up having to have an endoscopy and getting put on some pretty severe meds. I have a condition called gastroparesis. Temperance. I feel like this was part of me just trying to like work through that card. It's not a card that I necessarily connect to very easily. I love the details that I put into this. I love this drawing. This is, I think, the first time that I made this bird with the side, like the eyes are facing forward as human eyes. I don't know. I just think it's great. And the way I made that the beak is really wonderful. And then, you know, we kind of have these flames coming up. It's almost like a phoenix. And then this ether. We have some plant here. And then whatever is spilling out of this sort of sacred vessel. And this kind of looks like blood. I just love this. I love this drawing. I definitely had this reoccurring theme of these like jack-in-the-boxes. You know, it's like a snake coming out of a jack-in-the-box type thing, or maybe like Pandora's box, but then also it has this mask on. There are a few of these masks in this book, and I think it's kind of like, you know, a persona, or like sort of hiding who you are, or, you know, maybe this is the shadow and this is the, this is what you're presenting. I love this drawing. I think this is so stunning. I also have, I have a condition called dysautonomia, which means I have a dysregulated autonomic nervous system, and it shows up in a lot of ways, but it shows up a lot in my heart as well as my digestive system, and I just think this is beautiful, and it's all tangled and complex, and I love how I like filled the page to fit in the square. I love the little details in this, like the chain. I love doing these little tassels. See, you can kind of see here how watercolory this can be. Like you can layer the markers and it looks pretty nice. I love both of these pictures. These snakes are incredible. I love the texture here of just like all the snake scales. I've been feeling lately like I need to be drawing more women. And see, again, like you can see where you can layer these and it just looks very beautiful and loose. And look, I like this like little like sagey thing that's being burned and the water being poured. I love that bucket. It's beautiful how I rendered that, how I left sort of the highlight and everything. I don't necessarily think I'm great at drawing, but sometimes I impress myself. Also, I like how hairy she is. I always draw my women really hairy. I love these ones too. You can see I was really on a roll with these ones. Look at this little sacred vessel that has some hot dogs in it. And I don't know what the narrative was here, but I really enjoy this. I should make this into a painting, but probably won't. These are meh. I like hid some little vaginas into this one, I think. Either these are eyeballs or they're vaginas, but I feel like they're vagina. If I can hide a vagina in something, I probably will. This I remember I made because it was like Yule, so that I wanted to make something that was like celebrating the pagan holiday of Yule, but I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. I mean, I kind of like this pillow and these little desserts. I don't give a shit about this part. You know, sometimes I think I just kind of don't have an idea, or, I mean, a lot of these are kind of automatic, but they just don't come together, you know, which is fine. Like, that's the thing. It's a sketchbook. And like the fact that so many of these could be used as paintings, I don't really see my sketchbooks as like the final way of presenting. I really do like this. I like how I was doing all these hairs and the details here. This is when I start, you start seeing a lot of moons in my drawings. A lot of eggs too. Eggs represent like beginnings. I was really going through a lot of shit during making this sketchbook. Like this is, you know, intestines or colon or whatever. This is kind of like a meat grinder. Again, there's a mask. I think this is sort of where the book starts to get a little more representational, which is fine, but I don't think that this work is as good. I do really like these hands though. Like the detail in them, the way I handled them looks really beautiful. And the rug is great. This, I remember making like these next pages the night before I was gonna go get my endoscopy. So I was like so terrified. Oh my God. And I was just like, I was gonna have to go under anesthesia, and I was just like seriously so scared about it. And it actually was such a really great experience in that like I just really went in and was really honest, like I'm so scared, and you know, and all these beautiful women, all these nurses were just like all around me. They held my hand. They were so patient with me. And it was a really, really great experience. And like when it was done, I woke up and I was so high and I don't do drugs at all, but I was just so happy that like it was over. Like I was like, hey, This is still I made this the night before. This is like sort of like a death mask or a sleep mask. And you can see all the Z's sort of like, you know, getting your Z's. I love this. I need to make more figurative work. I love how like, I don't want to say rubbery, but like the body's just like very loose and shapely and like, I don't know. I do really like it. And the way the hair is, you know, it's like she's having this like cosmic experience dancing around a fire with a meteor. I love this. This would make a cool t-shirt or something. These are fine. Whatever. This is a cool concept. I remember this took a long time because I had to color all that in. I love this like flying meatball meteor and this. This was High Priestess. Again, like there was a lot of like themes around the Moon card, High Priestess card, you know, just working through those energies at this time. I love these little snuffed out candles. This I love. This you can kind of see like the Alexander Gerard influence that there. Maybe not, but love the way I did this hand. I just love all the textures. Love doing a hand with too many fingers. Yeah, again, this is where it really, I don't know. I just don't think this work is as good. It's maybe just because it's not as like emotional. It's not maybe as conceptual. This is, I remember I made this in February. So this would have been February 2020, like right before the pandemic. You know, and maybe this stuff sort of starts to get a little bit lighter because I had gotten medication that was working and, you know, I was sort of dealing with some of my, my health problems finally. I love the way I handled this, like texture in her body. This is definitely inspired by my friend Donna Kim Tier. She's a really cool artist. I've been friends with her for like 20 years. Love these little burgers. Again, moon card themes. This guy. I love this drawing. This reminds me of like a, you know, old traditional tattoo style drawing. That's it. Ta-da! Ta-da!